equations. So that's why we're reviewing it today. Just to refresh your memory, ease you back into being in math. So it might seem very, very simple, and that's okay. Okay? And it's okay if you need a refresher. We solve equations a ton. Okay? Hard part about geometry is remembering everything. Remembering all the vocab, remembering all the facts, because that's what you use. You use vocab and facts to set up problems to solve. So you're setting up equations to solve, essentially is what we do in geometry. But that's why we are reviewing it today. Okay? Because this is something you've seen before, and the first week of school is a little awkward, with 3 days, we are going to have a quiz tomorrow, 4 questions, just like these notes, and just like the practice, okay, over solving equations. That way, you don't have to take a quiz on Monday after your first weekend of school, okay? And we know right away where you're at, okay? If you're having a hard time with solving equations, we can fix it right away, okay? So that is why we are giving a quiz tomorrow. We'll review a few problems beforehand, okay, and then we'll take our quiz, and then we'll move on to some questions over that? Okay. So some of you might see this and be like, I remember how to do this. Go ahead, work ahead. Okay? Just make sure you're checking your answers with what we're doing up here. If you need a refresher, that's why we're going over it. So follow along if you need that refresher. Okay? So you might remember from Algebra 1, some of you like to make your line down your equal sign. Go ahead and do that. Make your side. And when we're solving, we're trying to get the variable by itself. What are we going to do first to get that variable by itself? We have to move something over. Yeah, we have to move the 17. If you're unsure, because here's our variable, right there. If you're unsure which one to move over, move the one furthest from the variable. So the 17 is further from that v than the 7. So we have to move the 17 over first. And you move that 17 over by doing the opposite. So it is, who said it? What's your name? Lucas. Lucas said do the opposite. So we're going to add 17 to both sides. That way it cancels out because you did the opposite. And we're left with 7v is equal to 60 plus 17 is what? 77. We still have to get that v by itself, so we have to move that 7 over. What are we doing right now with the 7 and the v when they're written right next to each other? We're multiplying. So when you have a number and a variable right next to each other, that means you're multiplying. What's the opposite of multiplying?
Dividing.
Divide. So we divide both sides by 7. What's 77 divided by 7? Take a look at me. To get z by itself, which one do we need to move first? Be very careful. Which one looks further, the 6 or the 5? It's tricky. You're okay. The 5 is further. You always want to move the one that's further first. So if we're adding 5 here, how do we move the 5 over? Subtract it. Ten minus 5 is what? Now, what do we need to move over? The 6. What are we doing with the z and the 6?
Dividing.
Dividing. Good. The fraction bar means to divide. Opposite of dividing? Multiply. I'm going to multiply. That way it cancels because we did the opposite. Z is equal to, what's 5 times 6?
30.
30. Questions over that one? Good? Nice, easy warm-up. 2-step equations. If you want to.
It's been a long time since I've used a smart. Oh lordy, you do this one first. That's too fair. She gave me 2.
That's so easy.
Okay.
She's gonna do this one first. I'll do the next one. Fair.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. I'll do it. Y'all are so rude. It's okay.
Good job. Good one.
All right. What moves first?
12.
That 5x.
Why the 5x?
Because you want to put the x's together.
You want to put the x's together. You want to put the same variables together.
The other way.
8 minus 5?
3.
3x plus 12 equals negative 9. Now what do I do with the 12, Reese? Subtract. I got crazy. Ignore that 3x. Negative 12 minus 9. Deborah. This is how I learn names. What's negative 12 minus 9? Sorry. It's okay. You're having a day? It's cool. I'll give it to you. Yes. So now we have 3x equals negative 21. Now what do I do? Band child that I need to print for.
-7.
Well, how do I get there though? You're not wrong.
Divide.
Divide
3.
3. 3. X equals, because a positive and a negative equal a
Negative.
negative. There you go, Reese.
Questions? What do we have to do with this one?
Combine.
Yeah. Combine my terms on that first one, the previous one, the x and y are opposite sides. This one, the x's are on this. We still want to do the opposite. But I like to think when they're on the same side, keep the same sign. Okay? Don't change the signs when the x's are on the same side of the equal sign. This one, they are on opposite sides. So we have to do the opposite. They're on the same side, so we keep it the same. Okay? When we combine here, 6x plus 8x is what? 14. And then we can combine our numbers. What do we get when we do 20 minus 10? 10. Equals 150. I see this a ton. Okay? We think, oh, gotta do the opposite. Okay? We subtract the 6. Don't do that. Okay? They're on the same side. Keep the signs the same. When they're on opposite sides, then you would use the opposite sign. Now it's that basic two-stepper. What are we going to do next? What do we have to do with the 10?
Subtract 10.
And then what do we do with the 14?
Divide.
What's 140 divided by 14?
10.
Questions over that? I don't know if these windows are making it hotter or cooler.
I think it's a lot hotter.
I'm going to close them.
That's my
We try closing them, see if it's better. Like, it's like
You're
hot
also
air.
jeans and a sweatshirt.
Hey, this is what outfit is it? So you might want to get used to it.
I'm just saying that could be one.
It's like it's letting all the cold air.
Um,
Questions over that? What do we have to do again here on this one? Combine like terms again. Again, same side, same sign. What are my like terms? What do we get when we combine them?
-2x.
Very good, negative 2. 7 minus 9x is negative 2. What are my other like terms? What do we get when we combine them?
11.
And then to get x by itself, and now it's just that two-step equation. So move the 11 over. 9 minus 11? And then what do we have to do with the negative 2? So x is equal to negative 2 divided by negative 2. Now we have 3x. But before we do anything, what do we need to do first? Combine like terms. Always combine those like terms. Again, same side, same sign. What do we get when we combine our like terms? What are my like terms? Yeah, what do we get when we do 12 minus 7?
5.
And then we solve. Just like we did with that previous problem, x's are on both sides. So we gotta move one of those x's over. My rule of thumb is I hate negative x's. Okay? Make my life difficult. I always mess up when I have a negative x. So I like to keep my x positive. So to keep your x positive, I always move the small guy over. Okay? So which one's the smaller x? 5 or 10?
5.
5. Some of us like just to move everything over to the left side of the equation. Go for it. I just don't like dealing with negative x. Oh, I got my line. Cancel. We get 14 equals 5x minus 1. And then you're back to your two-second equation. Move that 1 over. So we get 15 is equal to 5x. And then what do we have to do with the 5? Divide. What's 15 divided by 5?
3.
Done. You're on the back now? Or no? It's on the front. So again, what do we have to do with this one before we do anything else? Combine like terms. Okay? You're gonna see ones a lot where you have to combine like terms and then solve. We do that a lot in geometry. Okay? So combine our like terms. What do we get when we combine 6x and 3x? 9x. What do we get when we combine 7 and negative 1? Yep. Again, those x values are now on opposite sides. Which x do we want to move over? Yeah, move that little one over. We're going to move over the 9. So we get 6 is equal to, what's 12x minus 9x? To get x by itself, what do we need to do? Add the 15. Good. Make your line if it's helpful. Add 15. 6 plus 15? Huh? 21. Yep. And then what do we do with the 3? Fine. And 21 divided by 3? 7. X is equal to 7. If that bothers you, you can flip it. Let's say x equals 7. The other way. We take a look at H. What do we need to do first here? Yeah, very good. We have that 3 right on front of the parentheses. And that means we need to distribute. When we distribute, what operation are we doing? Are we adding, subtracting? Multiplying. Whenever we distribute something, we're multiplying. So essentially what we're doing is we're taking the 3, so the number on the outside, and multiplying it to everything that's on the inside. Are we also going to multiply that 3 to the 60? Why not? Yeah, it's on the total opposite side. It's not inside the parentheses, so we can't multiply. We just distribute that 3. 3. 3 times 2x is 6x. 3 times negative 8. 24. And again, it's just 2 steps. What do we have to do with the 24 to get x by itself? Do opposite. 6x is equal to 60 plus 24. 84. And then to get x by itself. And 84 divided by 6. 14. Questions over there? Okay, so these, maybe you didn't do them so much in algebra. I know you definitely probably did them in pre-algebra. Okay? Whenever you have a fraction equally a fraction, we call it proportion. We'll go more in depth with that later on in the year. But right now we're just solving these equations. What method do we do when we have a fraction equal to a fraction to solve? Cross multiply. Some of you like to call it cross multiply, then divide. Okay? So that's what we're going to do here. There's another way you can solve this, and I'll show you in a second, that some of you might think is easier. But I'm going to show you the cross multiplication method because we have to use them on the rest of the cross. Okay? We can't get away with the easier method for the other problems. But when we cross multiply, you start in the top of the first fraction, you multiply it by the bottom of the second fraction. So we multiply x times 5 is what? 5x. Then you repeat that process with the denominator bottom of that first fraction to the top of the second. So we multiply across here, 30 times 2, 60. And then what do we need to do to get x by itself? 5. So x is equal to what? 60 divided by 5 is 12. Okay. You could have also, does anyone have another idea? What, something different? Yeah, very good. You could have, because x is in the top of our denominator, okay? You could have just multiplied by 30 on both sides, and then done 2/5 times 30 and still gotten 12. Okay, so in this instance, you can do that, which I think is one. You just have to do it correctly. The other one, not as simple. Can't get away with just doing it. Questions over that? So here, again, because the x is in the denominator, we just can't multiply by the denominator because that's where the x is. So we have to use cross multiply for this one. So again, we're going to multiply top to bottom. What do we get when we multiply there? 15 times 2? 30. Equals. And then multiply here. 4x times 45. 180x. We need to get x by itself. So what do we have to do with that 180? Divide. What does the direction say? Because 180 divided into 30 evenly. What does the direction say when that happens? Simplify what form? Fraction form. Yeah, just make sure you follow directions. Sometimes the directions are going to tell you to keep it as a fraction. Sometimes the directions are going to tell you to round. Just follow whatever the directions say. Directions say leave it as a fraction, so we're going to leave it as a fraction. What's 30 over 180? 1 what? What is it? Close. 1/6. Very good. 1/6. Take the zeros cancel. 3 over 18 is 1. Questions over those?
It's my literal favorite thing to do.
Cross multiply? Yes. We'll do a lot more of that in second quarter, I think. Right now we're just doing basic equations. We'll apply it to geometry problems. So here, again, we have to use cross multiplication, even though the x is in the numerator, but we're adding something to the x. When we have a binomial, when we have x plus a number or an x minus a number, what I like to do to remind myself that those two things are stuck together, put parentheses around it. To remind yourself that's one big number, right? And then use cross multiplication, right? Multiply here. You have to be very careful. We're multiplying the 3x plus 1 with the 3. Okay? So how I like to write it, I'm going to write it as 3 times 3x plus 1. I'm multiplying those two things together. And then we're going to multiply the 2 and the 4. What do we get when we do 2 times 4? This is really similar to that, what example is it? H at the top of your paper. What do we have to do first when we solve? Do what? Distribute. Very good. Just like you did with problem H. Take that number on the outside, distribute it, so multiply it by everything on the inside. What do we get when we distribute that 3? 9x plus 3. And now we're back to those two-step equations. So we need to make your line. To get x by itself, what do we do with the 3? Subtract it. Eight minus 3 is? To get x by itself, what do we do? Divide. So 5 over 9. Does 9 go into 5 evenly?
Nope.
Nope. So leave it as a fraction and 5 over 9 simplify. So just leave it as 5 over 9. Yep. Over that one. One more. And get kind of practice. Same thing here. We have this binomial in the top. Put parentheses. We have this one in the top as well. Put parentheses. And then what do we have to do to solve? Cross. Multiply here. Again, we're multiplying the 8 with the x minus 2. Multiply here, we're multiplying the 4 with the x plus 1. Multiplying the whole thing by those numbers. So what do we have to do with the 8? Distribute it. So we get 8x minus 16 when we distribute that 8. Do the same exact thing with the 4. Distribute it. When we distribute the 4, what do we get? Plus 4. And now we have to solve that equation. And yes, x is on both sides. So to your line, which x do we want to move? The 4. We get 4x minus 16 equals 4. And now your two-step equation. What do we do with the 16?
Add it to the 4.
Got it. For x equals 20, and then to get x by itself, divide by 4. So x is equal to what? Questions over that? Literally what your quiz will look like. Everyone wants to know for your quiz from the notes and to maybe try in the practice. Ones on the front like C, F, G are all great ones, okay? And the ones on the bottom, particularly ones like problem text. Those are good ones to know. So make sure you practice similar ones on the practice. And if you have questions, let us know. We are